What's up, boys? Taking a look at some more NBA player props today over on PrizePicks. PrizePicks is my favorite website and app to take a look at MLB, NBA, pretty much everything player props. If you guys are already on PrizePicks, highly recommend joining. Use code DOMG. They match your first deposit 100% up to $100. If you guys deposit $60, they'll match it, give you guys $60 in promo funds to go ahead and play with. So pretty awesome deal. A bunch of you guys be using my code, and I seriously do appreciate it because it helps me out and helps you guys out as well. Again, it's available in most states, and you guys get a 100% deposit match up to $100. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about some NBA player props today. So there's also a Patreon link down in the description and a free Discord link if you guys are interested in joining those. MLB has been very, very good as well. So I posted an MLB video earlier today. There's also an MLB section on the Patreon, also an NBA and MLB combined on the Patreon if you guys are interested in joining that. But otherwise, I got some free ones for you guys today. Let's take a look at these here. It's a little bit different than I usually do on the channel. I'll explain why that is in a second here, but just to kind of recap, all links in the description. Like the video and subscribe. I seriously would appreciate it. Make sure you guys have those post notifications on so you guys can get in if you guys want before the lines move. And always take everything at your own risk. Always do your own research, all that different stuff. But finally, let's hop in and talk about some of these NBA player props. All right, so the first one here that I got for you guys, we're talking about two first half props in today's video. So then I'll have one more full game prop at the end for you guys here. But first one here is going to be one that I used to rock with a lot earlier in the year, and it has not failed very often. It's Alex Caruso, under 3.5 points. He's averaging 0.08 in his last 5 games here. We just need him to stay under 4. So yeah, I like the spot for sure for Alex Caruso to go under 3.5 first half points. He's only hitting 1 out of his last 10 games. Yeah, 1 out of 10 in his last 10 games, and he's 1 for 3 versus the Bucks this season. I believe the only time he hit was the very first game too. But this game right here, we have 3 games today. 9:30 tonight. It's a 10-point spread, 225.5 over under here. So let's take a look at this one. So Caruso, point guard, going into the Milwaukee Bucks here. Right here is the tool that we're using, FanDuel NBA defense versus position over on Fantasy Pros. Let's take a look here. Point guard here versus the Milwaukee Bucks, and they're kind of about right in the middle when it comes to the season-long defending the point guard for points. If you take a look at the last 7 games here, Milwaukee is actually a tough defense here, allowing the 7th least amount of points per game to the point guard position in the last 7 games. So they've been actually really tough against the point guard here recently. And as you can see, he had 0 last game. He played 12 minutes in the first half. He had 0 points. I mean, I don't know, man. actually, that's not true because this was actually April 5th. And so actually, I didn't even factor in this game right here. He had 2 points. I don't know what I was thinking. So he's actually 1 for 4 versus Milwaukee this season. Like Statmuse for some reason doesn't count playoff games. I don't know why that is. You have to put in including playoffs. Like I like to see at least like this year's game log with all this. But he played 16 minutes actually and ended up having 2 points in the first half here. So he is getting a decent chunk of minutes. But I mean, this game he played 20 points against the Cavs, had 3 points. This game is the only game he hit was against Toronto, where he had 4 points right there. So yeah, it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that is actually still 10. I was about to say maybe he was 0 for 10 in his last 10, but no, still 1 for 10 in his last 10 games here. And I think he'll go under yet again here. I think it's a great look, obviously. If you just take a look at the hit rate, I mean, and also the matchup is not the easiest matchup either for Caruso. If you take a look at the recent matchup. So yeah, I'm liking the spot for Caruso to go in and go under his first half points yet again here, averaging 0.08 in his last 5 games. So let's go ahead and take a look at here. So it's some other player props here. Actually, this is going to be first half here. PRA. We're looking at the first half PRA here. And where is he? I like Derek White here over 8.5 first half PRA. Again, if you take a look at the hit rate here, there's some sneaky props on PrizePicks. If you guys go ahead and take a look at the first half here, like he's hitting 5 out of 5 in his last 5 games here, averaging 12 in his last 5, and he's actually hitting 9 out of 10 in his last 10 games here, and he's 2 for 3 this season versus the Nets. If you guys were to take a look more into this one here. So let's go and take a look at this here real quick. So he will not be starting, but he will get some bench minutes here. But it's a 3.5 point spread, 226 over under here. So he should get still a decent chunk of minutes here. And he hit in the last game, like I said. He had 11 last matchup versus the Brooklyn Nets. But we can take a look more into this one here. But this is what it kind of looks like here. So versus the Nets here. So he's had 3 games versus the Nets. Obviously, that's factoring the playoff game. But he did miss in the matchup before, which was only 6 right here in 11 minutes. But if you take a look at how many minutes he had versus Brooklyn last time, which was last game. He had 18 first half minutes. So, yeah, that's a pretty huge jump up from having 11 in the last 2 matchups, where he even hit with 11 PRA in this game with 11 minutes. So, he should hopefully see like around 16 to 18 minutes is what I'm hoping for, man. So we can go ahead and grab this at least 9 PRA. And you take a look here and just see how many times. The only time he's missed besides this Miami game right here, which Miami is known for being a tough matchup for guards, but the only other time he missed here was against Denver, which was all the way in March. So it's actually a month ago today. So it's been a while since he's missed here. And I'm definitely liking the spot for Derek White here to go ahead and go over his 8.5 PRA. If you take a look at this here, really there's not a great way to go and take a look at it on this website to take a look at PRA. So we'll be going here by the fantasy points here. But, it's not exactly going to be PRA, but it can kind of give us an idea of how really Brooklyn matches up against, I believe it's listed as a shooting guard, right? Shooting guard, point guard. We'll take a look at both, but just kind of see how Brooklyn is matched up. But they've been on the easier side for the most part, fantasy score-wise. That's about as close as we can get, kind of, but that's also factoring in blocks and steals and all that different stuff instead of looking about it one-on-one. But, in the last 7 games here to the point guard, they've been allowing a ton of points and rebounds. Shooting guard here, Brooklyn is allowing a lot of points still. So if you take a look at the last 7 games here and what Brooklyn is doing, they actually do get a little bit harder for the most part, but I'm really not that worried about it. Like I said, he hit last game, and he got a ton of minutes while doing it. So in the last 7 games, they've been allowing a crap ton of points to the point guard. So even if he's playing point guard, he's playing shooting guard, I don't really care too much about it. I still think he'll have a great game, hopefully, in the first half and grab at least 9 PRA here. So I like the spot for sure for Derek White here to go ahead and go over yet again versus the Brooklyn Nets. So I'm liking those spots right there. Kind of messing around with some first half right there. But we'll go back to the normal stuff here and go with a 3-point make prop here. And let's go ahead and go with Tobias Harris over 1.5 3-point makes. He's averaging 1.8 in his last 5 games here. He went over in 2 straight games versus Toronto here. If you take more of a look into this one, he's a 45% hit rate this season, 7 out of 10 hit rate in his last 10 games. So he's been heating up lately, really finding the basket there for the 3-point makes. And he's hitting 3 out of 6 games versus Toronto this season, but he's also hitting 3 out of 3 in his last 3 games versus Toronto. So he's been heating up against Toronto. He's been heating up in the last 10 games. He's been shooting a lot of 3-pointers, and I'm liking the spot for sure for Tobias Harris, man. Hitting back-to-back games here versus Toronto with 3. We're just looking for 2 today. So that's all we're looking for is 2 3-point makes. He's done it the last 2 times. He even went over by 1 more. So we're just looking for 2 here for Tobias Harris. He's also favored to go ahead and go over this. I believe it's like a minus 138 or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's somewhere around there, at least at the time of this recording. So, yeah, I like all these props today. So to kind of recap here, I like Alex Caruso under 3.5 first half points, Derek White over 8.5 first half PRA, and Tobias Harris over 1.5 3-point makes. So that's going to do it for me, man. I seriously do appreciate you guys watching. Again, the PrizePicks link is in the description. The Patreon link is in the description. And a free Discord link is in the description if you guys are interested in joining any of those. But, yeah, that's going to do it, man. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Always take everything at your own risk. Let's have a good one. Goodbye.